finally made it to week 10 of the NFL. It's been a long ride.
Halfway point of the season.
A halfway point, yes. You could say, I guess you could say, yeah. Because what, 17
Really?
games? 17 games?
Yeah, well, yeah, 17 games, 18 weeks. But really, it's it feels like the halfway point, right? Or we're at least on to the second half of the year.
Absolutely. What a week last week.
Yeah, I mean, it was terrible for me. I was 2-4. Justin was 4-1.
Shout out
Nice
Josh
week.
Dobbs.
Josh Dobbs screwing us at the end. What a story, though. I'm proud of Josh Dobbs.
I mean,
but,
yeah. I
when
agree.
you go into that game thinking Jaron Hall is the QB, and then Josh Dobbs comes out of nowhere.
Shout out your fantasy team.
I mean, luckily my. I don't want to get into. I'll go on and on because I mean, full disclosure, I have a fantasy team, dynasty team. We're kind of in tank mode, right?
Yeah.
That was my thought process from week
that's
one.
your plan, yeah.
I was going tank mode the whole way. I accumulated some picks. I had Josh Dobbs because I drafted Kyler Murray, right? So Kyler Murray, he's coming back. Josh Dobbs gets traded. What do? I pick up Jaron Hall as a kind of a mini replacement option, while I wait for Dobbs to get back a week. Hall gets knocked out on the first drive with a concussion. Josh Dobbs comes in, obviously gets the win. We were on Falcons -3.5. That got canceled. Josh Dobbs had 25 points on my bench. Still got the win, though. Which, it's a tanking team. I don't know if I love that or hate that. But we were on Falcons -3.5. That didn't hit. Dolphins in Frankfurt. I mean, they had a chance, and they said, we're really good at running the football right now, and you know what we're going to do? We're going to not run it anymore, and we're going to keep passing the ball. And this Chiefs defense that's been stellar all year long against the pass.
Tua fumble McGee.
You just cannot trust the Dolphins in these big spots.
Mm-mm.
And
Against good teams.
I only went with them because the numbers seemed weird, right? 1.5 points. I was like, if it was Chiefs -3.5, maybe I'd go with it. But 1.5 just feels like they're begging you to take the Chiefs. I went the other side. It didn't work. So be it. Justin was on the Chiefs. Well done. Ravens, we wanted to take the Seahawks. You know what they did? They laid a massive egg. They looked like pumpkins out there. The Ravens dominated. I mean, it looked a lot like the Lions game in Baltimore.
It did.
I mean, it was. You just changed the uniforms. Really, it was an absolute slobberfest. I mean, they just destroyed them.
Are the Ravens legit? We don't know because they're known for being the playoff choke artists. They may look good. Got to wait till postseason.
It's difficult for me because I've seen the Ravens look really dominant, and then there's going to be one of these weeks where
they get humbled.
They look like they don't know how to move the football. Their defense doesn't come up clutch like it has been. There's going to be some games where they just don't look like themselves, and then I have to ask myself, okay, which Ravens team is the real one? Is it the team that I saw this week, or is it the team that destroyed the Lions and the Seahawks at home? I'm not really sure.
Mm-hmm.
I do think this is a really good football team, though. I think right now they're playing the best football in the league. I do. Does that equate to a Super Bowl appearance? Does that equate to an AFC Championship game appearance? I don't know, but we'll see. I think they easily are playing the best football right now in the league, but you still got to go through Cincinnati. You're going to have to go through Kansas City at some point. I think Miami still, even though they haven't gotten it done, they can pose a threat. There's going to be games where I'm not entirely confident in the Ravens, and this week especially, I'm not entirely confident in the Ravens. So I think they're legit, but I'm just not sure yet. But I'm not really sure about anyone. It's wide open.
It is. No one's just a lock.
And speaking of a game where I felt like one team deserved to win and one team deserved to lose, Philly. Dallas outplayed Philadelphia.
They did.
I don't care what anyone says, and I know Philly got the win, but Dallas outplayed Philly, and they deserved to win that game. They did not in the end. They came up short, but man, oh man, did Dallas deserve to win that game.
It's interesting, the flack's always, and for the most times, rightfully so, on Dak Prescott. He finally played a really, really good game, prime time when he needed to, and also against a division rival and a potential NFC, contender to get to the Super Bowl on the road.
Yeah.
And probably in the last place he'd want to be playing, where he'd get the most hate on the road. Let's be real.
Yeah.
And he played a great game, and it just didn't end up falling. The cards didn't fall right. I mean,
know.
You had that unfortunate knee down by, was it, what tight end was it?
Oh, Hendershot? No, Schoonmaker. I'm sorry,
Schoonmaker, yeah. Schoonmaker, unfortunate knee down, 4th down. That didn't count. And, we get a little Philly brotherly love, brotherly shove to get back into territory. And then they just kind of rolled it down but Philly was not moving the ball in the end. They were honestly giving it back to Dallas and Dallas, it just didn't work out.
And it's sad because the play before, Tony Pollard had a touchdown. And I don't know if it was the right tackle who didn't report as eligible, but said he did. I don't really know what happened there, but that was a touchdown.
Dak steps out at the 2 for that 2-point conversion.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many factors that played into the Dallas loss. But if you look at the just overarching picture, it felt like Dallas outplayed Philly. And I'm not afraid of Philly. I don't think they're playing the best football. I know they have the best record in the NFL, but I'm just not convinced that Philly is
dominant
the best team in the NFC. Like, it hasn't been there for me. I don't know. I mean, there's plenty of football left to be played. They can easily look like the dominant team that they were last year.
The Niners look dominant and they're on a 3-game skid.
Yeah, it's wide open right now. And speaking about a team that we thought was out, but now they're back, is the Bengals. I mean, we were both on the Bengals on Sunday night. We believed in Joe Burrow. Josh Allen not looking great at all in that game.
Mm-mm.
Joe Burrow getting it done.
And honestly, in that game too, the Bengals honestly kept giving the ball, making mistakes and giving the ball back to the Bills. Josh Allen had every chance and he couldn't get it done.
But we were both on the Bengals. I loved it. I was proud of you. Proud of myself for backing Burrow for once.
No, proud of me. I'm going to back Burrow.
I know, but you know what? You could have easily fallen into the trap. Like, hey.
Could be a close game. Buffalo's still Buffalo.
Buffalo, yeah, right? We didn't. We could have easily fallen into that trap. But
the Damar Hamlin game.
Exactly.
Where he didn't
They're
play.
going to play emotional. They're going to play inspired. No, we didn't. We said, look, the Bengals right now are playing better football. They're a better football team. Let's ride Joe Burrow. And then the game that I picked, Twitter, Jets +3. Terrible.
Hate to see it, man.
On Twitter, I just said...
we have some down weeks, but you've been hitting...
I just said, you know what? There's no way that Brandon Staley gets this done in prime time. And somehow they did. They had the punt return touchdown early. Their offense really didn't move the ball.
No. The defense played well, which could have been a concern this week.
Their defense played phenomenal against Zach Wilson. I mean, Brees Hall really didn't.
Robert Saleh said, no comment on them being the quarterback.
Oof.
I plead the fifth.
That was a bad performance because, that Jets defense, I mean, the Chargers had like 150 yards of offense. I mean, they really weren't doing anything offensively.
The Jets defense is decent.
It is. It's really good. One of the best in the league, but they just don't have the offense to support it, and it's a shame.
It's okay. Aaron Rodgers will come walking back in December.
Probably. But that was week 5, or not week 5, week 10.
Mm-hmm.
Those were your 5 picks, my 6 picks. Justin, once again, 4-1. Nicely done.
Bouncing back,
I was
baby.
2-4. Got to have a bounce back week here in the NFL. Let's get on to the week 10 picks. Cannot wait.
Game 1. Niners head down southeast to Duval. The Jags host the Niners. Niners favored by 3 on the road.
It's a tough game.
Coming off a 3-game skid, bye week. The Jags keep just playing consistent, good ball. They're not just outshining everybody. They're just playing solid, good ball.
They're playing great ball. And that's the thing is the Jags are 6-2. They kind of got out to a rocky start, but you're seeing them now, and it's going on both sides of the ball. They're playing good offensively. They're playing good defensively. It's been very complimentary. This team is really good against the run in the pass, too.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really think defense when you think of Jacksonville, but they've been really stout against both schemes. What I want to see in this game is San Francisco's response, right? 3 straight losses. You get the bye week to reassess.
Trade.
Right, they trade for Chase Young. What do they look like post-bye, post just reevaluation?
Steve Wilkes said he will be on the field now as defensive coordinator instead of up in the booth. Is that going to change anything?
I don't really know what that does. The public, 58% of it is on San Francisco. And when I look at this game, I'm thinking to myself, there's no way San Fran can drop 4 in a row, right? They cannot just keep losing. But you're going into Duval. You're
Maybe
going into
they
Jacksonville.
Don't drop it. But
am I crazy if I take the Jags here?
No, because I'll hop on that crazy train with you.
All right, let's do it, man.
Jag Pack. Duval.
I mean, I think San Fran's the better football team, but I just cannot bring myself to take them confidently right now, and I should because I can't see them dropping 4. But
everything rides on. Was a week off in the cornfields what Brock Purdy needed?
Oh, that's the thing. He's been playing terrible. I mean, who's to say that he just walks into Jacksonville and gets it done and won by 3 points?
He could.
No, it's Jags all day.
I'm riding.
Enough said.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like, I'm not putting my faith in Brock Purdy. Not until he proves it to me.
Mhm.
Because the past 3 weeks, he hasn't.
And they could win. This could be a 21-20 game.
It could. I mean, they could win on a late Jake Moody field goal for all I care.
Or 23-20, and then we push. And
Yeah.
that is what it is. I don't know, man.
I just feel like everyone's going to take San Fran. Like, as this game creeps up closer and closer.
They're like, they
you're
just
gonna
need
see
the
more
bye
movement,
week.
you're
They're
see
going to
more
wake
action on
up.
San Fran. Yeah. They're not going to lose again, right? That's what I'm taking. They're not going to lose again. They had the bye week. They're going to be fresh.
Who knows?
They're
Chase
going
Young's
into a
not just going to
sloppy
turn
Duval.
it. This is true.
Jags all day. Trevor Lawrence. I'm taking the better QB.
Yeah. All right, game 2. Little spicy one. After some up and down weeks, Stroud is back at it again, man. He's back at it again. They head to Cincinnati. Bengals
What a
favored by
performance that
6.5. Yeah, it was crazy. Dude,
Stroud is the real deal.
They're
just
discussing,
is.
They're discussing him as top 10 QB currently in the league.
He is. He is. I know he had some rough weeks prior to last week against the Bucs, but every rookie QB is going to go through some ups and downs, and his downs weren't even that bad. That's the funny part. Is his lowest so far this season has been Bryce Young's best when you put it into perspective.
And it's funny because, you know what? Maybe he's like, yo, Bryce, I know you were number 1 pick. I'm going to let you have this game. So that means I can just pop off after this and everybody knows the deal, So he doesn't look that bad that you were taking number 1, right? But, hey, he's like, I'm good. He's putting on a show right now.
It's not even about wins and losses for the Texans right now either. Like, they're
The future.
having fun. They're playing fun football. And
Tank Dell?
it looks like they've drafted really well. This season, this past draft, and past drafts too.
Good coach, D'Amico Ryans.
D'Amico Ryans has been excellent. I love what Houston is doing. And I was a bit scared at first because I was like, this franchise and organization just has gotten in their way so many times, and it's prevented success from happening. But it feels like for once they're finally all aligned.
Mm-hmm.
They have a vision. Nick Caserio's done a nice job. I know he had a bit of a tough start at the beginning in Houston, but they've really settled down. They've got their QB. They've got their coach. I love what Houston is doing. And on the flip side, you have a Bengals team coming off some really nice wins, but you're going to be without T. Higgins, right? Jamar Chase, he's questionable. This is going to be a tough game for Cincinnati to repeat a performance like they did against the Bengals or against the Bills. And a 1 o'clock kick, I think you might get a Bengals team that's a little sleepy, right? Just not totally amped to play.
Joe Burrow's more prime time.
I agree. I think this is a game for Houston, not to win, but you give me 6.5, I'm going to take that all day. And guess what? 68% bets on Cincinnati. This is a great spot to take Stroud. He's playing a level of football right now that not many rookie QBs have played at ever. I'm going to ride the hot hand. I'm going to take C.J. Stroud and the Texans on the road plus 6.5.
Bold to say hot hand after both guys have played really well. But
I'm saying 477 yards, 5 touchdowns. You can't get hotter than that.
It's true. And, Joe Burrow was like that, man. He's still like that. And it's good to see him bounce back. I did not know that T. Higgins wasn't going to play until pre-show. That
Rappaport said
you
he's
stated to me.
Expected to miss.
If him and Jamar Chase are both out, we're about to see what Joe Burrow's made of. We're about to see what he can do.
Tyler Boyd and Joe Mixon.
I guess so, man. We might have to throw some boys outside. What's that? That guy, an undrafted guy out of
Princeton?
Yeah.
Right, yes.
He's been playing.
Voss?
He's been playing well, man. He's been playing well. They've been finding him. Sample out of the backfield, man. He's been popping out everywhere. I mean, Irv Smith can be okay. I think Joe Burrow can win this game.
But
I love my Joe Burrow. I love me some Joe Burrow. But I'm going to be on Houston with you.
Yeah,
6.5.
yeah. You know it's the right pick.
I do because I think the Bengals win, but something happens where without those guys, Joe Burrow can do it, but the confidence level there decreases extremely without both of them.
Yeah, and that's the thing too is like you have a big Thursday night game against Baltimore,
and focus on this
if
game.
you can sneak out a win in this one, while simultaneously resting Chase, give him a couple extra days to get ready for the Baltimore game, you can win that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're missing T. Higgins for Baltimore, you're not totally concerned as long as you have Chase. But if you're missing Chase and Higgins, you can forget about against Baltimore.
Yeah.
You're missing both against Houston, you might still be able to win.
Especially being at home is helpful.
Exactly. So they really need to focus, I think, more so on health because they prioritized winning over health early in the year, and that's where it screwed them, right? Because Joe Burrow clearly wasn't right. They weren't winning games. You can win this one without Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, right?
Mm-hmm.
You still have Joe Burrow, you still have Tyler Boyd, you have Joe Mixon. You can find a formula to get it done. But you're without those guys against Baltimore, you got no shot.
Mm-hmm.
So
smart. You got to be smart.
Right. I think they scrape it out. I think it's a ugly win here. Maybe it comes down to a late field goal. Who knows? But I think Houston covers.
McPherson. Fair enough. Game 3. The dread.
This is the matchup of the week. It really is.
Cleveland heads to Baltimore. Ravens favored by 6.5. Baltimore's been on a crazy tear. They beat the crap out of Cleveland a couple weeks ago. But that was a Cleveland without Deshaun Watson.
Mm-hmm.
Backup QB, DTR, didn't play that well. Now they go on the road to Baltimore. It's a dangerous game. Game. But this defense is still good. I think the Ravens won like 27-3 in Cleveland. But still, 27 points? That's not a crazy beatdown for that defense. The defense is still really good. And it's tough if you're always out on the field because the offense can't do anything without Deshaun.
Yeah, I mean...
No Nick Chubb either.
Look.
Obviously.
This is going to be a really tough game. This is a classic AFC North, brutal, low-scoring, slugfest. I think you get two teams, both kind of fully healthy, right? I mean, we know there's some injuries, obviously, that are going to be had, right? No J.K. Dobbins, no Nick Chubb. We know that, right?
Yeah.
But they're healthy at QB. AFC North, right? These games just produce tight ones. You mean to tell me a Baltimore team that's just been blowing out everyone lately is not going to find themselves in a tough one,
Lions
a tight
did.
one, right? I know, but this is a different team. This is a different
I'm just
Browns
saying,
team.
though.
They're not going to back down. The first game was 27-3. This game will not be that. It is Browns all day at plus 6.5. You cannot tell me anything that'll change my mind. I'm taking the Brownies in a tight one. 13-10 maybe is the final. I think it's going to be ugly. Not many points on the board.
Because they know how to play Lamar. They play him twice a year, every year.
Yeah, I just think you're going to get a really tight one here. So I'm going with the Browns.
Short and sweet. My whole day, I just was waiting to hear what you'd have to say. Because I feel like in these games, got to ride together or die together. Go Browns.
Brownies. And it's pretty 50-50 in terms of public betting.
I believe
too,
it.
So.
It'd be a different game like last time if no Deshaun Watson.
I mean, he got ruled out late too. We were kind of left out in the woods there. We were like, seriously?
Yeah. Yep. All right, game 4. Falcons and Cardinals, baby.
Tyler's back.
Kyler's back, and
K1.
Arthur Smith is a destruction man to a franchise. He really is self-destroying the Falcons franchise. I mean, when you got Pitts, yes, London's out because he's hurt, but Bijan, where's he been? Like you called out Jahmyr Gibbs being 12th pick, not using them all at all. They finally used him, but they knew, and they started using Robinson right away. Bijan, where is he?
It's crazy, Jahmyr Gibbs looks like the way he does. It's just crazy when you use, your first round pick the right way, in a way that they can succeed, right? I mean, You'd like to see that with a couple other guys, not just on the Lions, but on several other teams. And the Falcons are a prime example. They don't use Drake London the right way. They don't use Kyle Pitts the right way. They don't use Bijan Robinson the right way. I mean, you're just burning picks and you're wasting their talent. These are top-end talents in their respective drafts at their position, right? And you're just not using them correctly. Jonnu Smith has more targets in the red zone than Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is 6'8". Bijan Robinson has 1 carry within the 5-yard line. 1. He's a workhorse back. He should be getting those all day long. It makes no sense what Arthur Smith is doing. It's not even about the fantasy guy, right? It's literally just common sense. You're losing games because you're not using your best players. That's just the bottom line. Tyler Algier and Jonnu Smith should not be getting the ball more than Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and Bijan Robinson. And Drake London being out last week, that should have meant more targets for Kyle Pitts. That should have meant more opportunities for Bijan Robinson. It makes no sense why they saw less work in a game where they're missing their top-end wide receiver, Drake London. And I'm getting hot right now. I'm not even a Falcons fan. It's just so infuriating. Well, we're watching Arthur Smith ruin these players.
Well, let me tell you something. Well, the people got to know that the Falcons are favored on the road by 1.5 in Arizona against the Cardinals.
And they're not winning this game.
Arthur Smith is just blaming the quarterbacks. Oh, he didn't play good this week. Let me play the other guy. Oh, he didn't play. Let me go back to the other guy. Like, what are you doing, dude?
You know what I'm going to do to Arthur Smith? I'm going to rip that stupid mustache off of his face and wipe that smirk that he has every single week when he thinks he knows better than everyone else. Listen, Mr. FedEx, you are not winning this week. This is Kyler Murray's comeback. K1 is getting it done at home. He is all in on the team. The team is all in on Kyler. All this talk about Caleb going to the Cards, it's not happening. Kyler Murray is the franchise quarterback. He's getting this victory at home. He's going to have a great performance. I know you might not see the same Kyler, right? You might not see as many rushes. But what you do have is a connection with Marquise Brown. Trey McBride looks like a great tight end that they got in the second round of last year's draft. They have options on offense.
They're not as terrible.
They're not a bad team, and their defense has played decent given the fact that they have almost no talent. The Cardinals are getting this done at home. I'm fully convinced. What does the public say? I don't care what the public says. I'm taking the Cardinals plus 1.5. And if you really want to know what the public's thinking about this one, throw on the Cardinals. And guess what? I'm one of them too. Give me the Cards plus 1.5.
I don't understand how Arthur Smith got a head coaching job, left Tennessee. What did he do? What was his offensive game plan? Oh, give it to his bell cow of a running back, Derrick Henry. That was H-back run. That's it. That was his play every time.
Yeah.
And now he has Bijan, who could be even better than him, and he doesn't use him.
He doesn't use them at all.
How? Get this man a new job. Go retire. You're going to get all the shares of FedEx. Cards by 1 million.
Yeah. Yeah. Come on now. I mean, come on.
I do not. I am one of the least supporters of Kyler Murray, and I hope he punches the Falcons in the mouth.
I want it to be like 40-0.
Yeah, because that's what Mr. Banks, is that what his name is? Arthur Bank or whatever, the owner of the Falcons.
Yeah.
He needs a wake-up call to fire because he is getting screwed. Mr. Banks, Mr. Blank. You know what? He should have never wrote a check.
Him a blank check
to get out of here.
Get the hell out of here.
Honestly, man.
In the memo, get the hell out of here.
Honestly. Anyway, on to Game 5.
We're going to be 5 for 5 this week.
Lions at Chargers,
yes,
Game
sir.
5. The boys are back after a bye week. They head to L.A., a dangerous game for the Lions. Lions favored by 3 on the road against the Chargers?
Yeah, a little surprised by the number, but dude, everyone's on the Lions. 83% of the public is on the Lions. Again, it's the same deal with the Raiders. It's the same deal. You know what's good, though? Is the Lions 2-0 against the AFC West right now. And it seems like...
And we got to play the Broncos later this year.
Right, and I just feel like their play style and their scheme matches up well against the Chargers. This is not the Ravens, right? I think when you face another physical team like the Lions did in Baltimore on the road, that can pose some problems, especially when you have a mobile quarterback with Lamar. Justin Herbert, he's been phenomenal, but they're without Josh Palmer, they're without Mike Williams. They're really lacking a big explosive play threat. You always got to be worried about Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler, but their downfield passing attack really isn't there right now. And that defense played well against the Jets, but there's some holes, and the Lions can definitely exploit it. You get them off a bye, they're going to play comfortable in LA. I mean, they got a lot of guys from LA, Jared Goff, Amon-Ra.
Montgomery's going to be back.
Yeah, you get Monty back.
And
I think they've really missed. I know they, in his absence, they were 1-1, but he really provides so much more than just the power back per se. Like, he really sets the table for them, and he's a running back that you don't want to get hit by because he delivers that blow, and that allows for the other guys to kind of feast.
And a big thing now is knowing what Jahmyr Gibbs can bring to the table. You can kind of not just keep punching him 100 times a game. Obviously, you're going to want to use him that much, but you can kind of give him a little relief,
right?
More often than not.
You can give Monty 15 to 20 carries and give Gibbs 15 to 20 touches as well. Like, you can almost split them evenly in touches, and I think they both can be effective. Like, Montgomery is going to give you those tough yards. He's going to give you a couple of big, chunk plays.
Your goal line boy, right?
Right. He's going to be effective in the red zone. And that's the thing. The Lions have been terrible at executing the red zone. And wanna know why? Because they've been missing their bell cow.
Yeah.
They've been missing Montgomery. He's literally been the rock in the red zone. Craig Reynolds isn't that guy. And as much as we love Jahmyr Gibbs and what he's done lately, he's not the guy either. Yeah. Right? Jahmyr Gibbs more of the 20s back. Montgomery's in the 20s back.
Yeah.
You've just been missing that. And last year, that's why Lions were so effective in the red zone, is because whenever they got down there, they were just smashing your teeth in. And they just haven't had that consistently this year, right? Montgomery got knocked out early in that game against Tampa. He's been out 3 games overall this season. They've just missed him, and they're getting him back now. That offensive line is healthy too. Ragnow and Jackson are going to be back. That's been big. This just feels like a Lions spot for me. You're coming off a bye. The Chargers are hot off a win. They're going to think they're sweet, right? Staley, of course. Oh, we just beat the Jets on the road. We're back, right? No. You're going to lose at home. There's going to be a sea of Honolulu blue in LA.
Crazy.
You got a lot of Detroiters out there, and people are going to travel to LA. It's a fun place to go. SoFi is an awesome stadium. It's going to be 70% Lions fans, and it's going to feel like a home game for them. And when it's a home game for the Lions, they usually come out. So I'm going to take the Lions -3 here all day. I'm a little concerned just about going out to LA and Justin Herbert being the QB on the other side, but a big game against a good team that just does not feel like Brandon Staley to me. So I'm going to go with the Lions -3.
Short and simple. I thought the Chargers can do it. I think the Chargers can do it. I believe in the Chargers a lot, but what have they given me? Destruction in the Thunderdome because there was no electricity. Go Lions. Gotta ride. Plain and simple. The battery's also about to die. All right. I have nothing to say, man. Go Lions. Let's get it rolling. Let's roll the second half and ride it to prime time town.
Well, let's talk about the 5 games that we have picked so far. Game 1, Niners, Jags. Me and Justin both on
Duval.
Nicely done. +3. Game 2, Texans, Bengals. CJ Stroud boys, +6.5. Let's go. Browns head into M&T Bank Stadium. We're on the Brownies, +6.5.
Feed them.
Game 4, Arthur Smith, son of a billionaire.
Send him home.
Send him home.
Send the boy packing. FedEx box style.
Me and Justin on the Cardinals, +1.5. K1 is back.
Kick him to the door. Kick him to the door.
Please, Kyler, please. And then Game 5, the Detroit Lions head out to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers. Me and Justin both on the Lions -3. That's going to be a home game for the Lions. And that's your Week 10 picks. It's going to be an awesome week. These matchups kind of stink, not like last week, but it's still football. It's still the NFL. You're going to bet on it either way.
All beautiful.
Listen to us before the games kick off. Let's have a good time. Pick on Twitter out Friday. Maybe I did it on Monday because it was closer to the game. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do it closer to game.
Just be aware.
Be aware on Twitter. That's all I'm going to say. Be aware on Twitter. But those are your Week 10 picks. Any closing remarks as I smash the mic on the table?
It's okay. We'll see what happens this week. Not that good of games, but some sneaky games. Because we're going to see who wants to be for real this week and who's going to wake up and be back. Kind of reality check. Niners, will they be back? Lions, can they keep it rolling? Are the Ravens legit? Kyler returns in a team that has to be carried by Burrow. We'll see what happens. We'll see you next week.
Enough said. Let's on to Week 11.
Onward. See you next week. Peace.